A number of programmes on Manx Radio became firm favourites over the years. One such was the Cringle File. David Callister asked its author how he came up with so much entertaining stuff.
The idea is I might pick one up during the day from the newspapers or from somebody I speak to. I tend to sort of pick up cuttings and other things and write little notes and keep them in a file. And also I do rely on listeners. An awful lot of people write in and ring in and stop me on the street, and wherever I go to a social function, people have always got something to say.
But after your social function, you've got to go home in the evening, and there's that deadline almost hitting you. Have you ever had a time where there was no inspiration at all?
Yes, once or twice I've sat there looking at a sheet of blank paper for the best part of an hour, and then eventually you just crank your mind into action. You've got to do it. That's the thing. That's the discipline.
And then you whip it off in 3 or 4 minutes?
Yes, often with the flimsiest idea. That usually is the quickest. And sometimes, if things are really going bad, I have a couple of large whiskies, and that stimulates things along quite nicely.
But you've always got to find a punchline as well, or nearly always have to find a punchline. Are they easy to come by?
Well, you start off and you go round in a circle, you hope for the best. It's something called free association. Alistair Cook does it. Now, there's a big difference, a world of difference between me and Alistair Cook, but we still work on the same system.
Have you managed to tread on a few people's toes?
One or two people have been annoyed, one or two things I've said. I'm sorry that happens, because the whole thing is only meant to be mildly amusing and harmless. It's to give people a laugh, some relaxation. There's nothing malicious intended in there at all. But of course you can't always get it right. And when that does happen, I'm always terribly sorry, because then I've got it wrong, and I don't like that. I'm speaking to an audience I can't see, most of it. But there is an audience I do see, and that's Stu Lowe at the moment, and there's you, and there's Charles Gard. And generally speaking, once I finish and I let the punchline go, I always have a look to see what sort of a laugh I'm getting, and that really tells me how well I've done.